Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Let Madness Begin. William Coleman, Marshawn Taylor. It's beautiful outside. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Sun's out. Mini dresses are up by 10%. It's just a beautiful time to be alive, man. How you feeling?
It's best I can feel at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a Sun, and I leave it at
that. You know what?
Yeah, I leave it like that. I feel like Capri Sun.
So, before we jump into our topic, which I like that we're going to talk about, I got a question for you. When is it okay for a woman to demasculate you in public?
The fuck, it's never okay.
Oh, okay. I'm just even if your wife.
It doesn't make you a woman. It doesn't make you a man when you do it to a woman, or a man doing it to another man, or a woman doing it to another woman. It doesn't make you, it doesn't. It shows how insecure you are.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. And no, we're not talking about Will and Jada. We'll leave that for the red table talk.
Yeah.
Actually, DJ Envy wife went on his show and said that she's been faking it with him for 10 years, apparently.
Okay, so she didn't stay with him because of his sexual prowess in the bedroom.
But she bore him 20 kids.
He aimed right. He aimed correctly. I mean,
he cheated on her with Erica Mena.
That says a lot, don't it? Okay.
I just find it funny, and how first off how accepting he was of her coming on his show to embarrass him. Like, I think that's grounds for divorce.
No, was this on Breakfast Club?
Yes. If it was me, and I. Because I always tell people this, whether Ray J went through it or not, because Ray J and Young Berg had this conversation. Ray J said, they ain't never said that about me. Whether Ray J believes it or not, the way a woman will always get back at a man is through the bedroom. Like, whether it's true or not, she will always try to make it because she feels like that's where he hangs his crown.
Most men, yeah.
Right. Yeah. My issue is first off, I don't, big picture don't care. It's their business. But why, as a woman who's married to a man, you obviously stayed with him. Why would you wait and come on his show to embarrass him and think that that's okay?
For one, I'm going to say it's not okay or whatever. I'm just going to say one, I think nobody coached her. Nobody coached her on what was to be asked and said. There was no, because usually in situations like that, you kind of pad your interviews.
Right.
Hey, we're going to talk about this, but we're not going to address that. If this comes up, speak lightly about it, but don't go too in depth.
Right.
And first of all, I think that's what happened. Honestly, I think, and from what I'm hearing, because I haven't watched an interview or anything like that, it's never okay. That's one thing I don't like about when you're these celebrities and stuff, is when they put that part of their lives out there like that. You can say, hey, we have an excellent, sex life, whatever, and leave it at that. You don't go into depth of, or say, hey, you say, hey, I've been with him X amount of years, and you say, I'm happy.
I feel you on that, and that's what caught me off guard, because
like she don't like I saying. They needed a real publicist involved in that mix before he did that kind of interview, to rehearse with them what the interview, basically do a dress rehearsal of your interview. What were the questions to be asked and not to be asked, not how to be addressed. Because who's asking the questions?
Either Charlamagne or him. Or I think she volunteered it.
See? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
I agree with you.
Come on. Of all people you're going to interview with about your book, about your life, and they pretty much have an idea what your life is, but to go in that much depth, you went to those two people.
Right.
Now, many times, no matter how much you say y'all got each other's back, y'all don't really have each other's back like that.
Exactly. You want to embarrass
each other. Y'all bury each other and take shots whenever you can.
And it's funny because we had this conversation with Will and Jada, and I feel like she's on a mission to embarrass him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's starting to be a trend, especially in Hollywood, where these women of ethnicity are trying to embarrass their counterparts.
Because I think they feel, because you think about it, it's a self-satisfying, self-empowering thing when it's really insecurity.
Okay, I like that.
You think about it. Think about how many times. Let's revert back to the whole Jada thing when she first started mentioning it. She never said it out of displeasure or distaste about what happened with her entanglement, did she?
Right. No,
It's like she did something great.
you're right.
And then when she was sitting right there in front of her husband, the man was about to, like, he ready to stop her off that table.
And she was sitting there like,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. She did, yeah, exactly. The whole time. This man, and that's the thing, and that's things that happen in a lot of relationships. That's just what we see in public.
right.
You imagine what goes on in real life, and I've seen it happen before in relationships like that. It's just whether it's the man or the woman, black or whatever, they do that, to make themselves feel better. You deprive that person of being a human being, of being your spouse, your mate, your husband, your wife. That privilege, it's a privilege. It's not a right when you get married. It's a privilege for somebody to consider that, for you to entitle you like that.
I like that. Matter of fact, I love that what you said. It's a privilege.
Yes,
because you're right. At the end of the day, y'all coming together,
right?
Is y'all both agreeing to maintain and support and protect. And I always
Right.
tell people this, whatever y'all do, we don't know the mistakes that happen in people's lives, but y'all have to protect each other from the world. Now, behind closed doors,
Right.
you could handle
Regardless,
it.
exactly. Because, like I said, behind closed doors, it's however you want your marriage to be. If it chooses to be open, let it be open.
Right.
If it's however, husband, mom, hey, mom's my man, keeps the roof over the head, whatever, he do whatever the hell he want out in the street, as long as it stays out in the street.
Right.
It could be that. But not necessarily, like I said, as long as you don't mess with because it is still an institution that we created, not God created, but as long as we stay true to that institution of marriage, when we declare our marriage and we don't anything dissolve it, tear it down, or whatever, by all means, like you said, we stick to it. We protect that. That's what our vows are based on.
You're right. And I agree with you. I just thought that was interesting because you're starting to see that more and more where they are starting to want to embarrass the male counterpart. And I'm like, well,
but it should be self-deprecating because you're supposed to be whole. You're supposed to be one.
That's how I feel. I feel like her doing that is more an indictment on her than it is.
It is.
Because now people gonna question you.
Right.
And like, so why did you give him 5 kids? Why are you still with him?
Right.
Why did you stay with him after he cheated? You bring more light to you, just like with Jada. Yeah, you embarrassed Will. Now people are asking like, really, you're toxic. Now you fighting those questions. I'm not toxic. No. And it's like, no, because now people starting to see.
You thought it was weird. You thought it was weird when I said it the first time.
Yeah,
when I told you.
So now that's the toxicity.
It's very toxic.
Now your daughter got to go out there and defend you. So now you have to have people defend you because you thought that was funny when in reality it shows it's a more of an indictment on who you are. So I agree with you. So
come on now, you sit there, no wrong having a thing between you two, but like if you going 10 years and you haven't found a way for you to be intimate to the point to where then there's a problem, then y'all have a business arrangement, more or less, I can say, as opposed to a marriage.
And if that's the case, then are you mad? Are you mad that his cheating became public? Because at some point, obviously, you wasn't there to be intimate.
There was something going on at the home,
right?
Go that direction.
And one thing, and this is what makes me mad. See, a woman could come out and say anything about a male and sexually, but if a man say, you know what, you was thinking you wasn't good, all hell breaks loose.
Right.
On the same Breakfast Club, Angelique got mad because Uncle Murder said Michelle K. Williams, what?
K. Michelle
stinks.
Right.
She was like, oh, you shouldn't say that. But where are you at to say, you know what? Though you shouldn't say that about your counterpart, DJ Envy. But see, it's a double standard. That's why she's single, alone, and look old. But she's still cute though.
Oh, okay.
Word is Wu Tang. Nah, let me stop. Nah, but so that's our softball. So let's warm up to the main event. When your dreams become your nightmare. So I'll give a little backstory of why I chose that.
Yeah, why is it? Yeah.
So we're all told in life to dream. Dream big. Let me rephrase that. Not everybody's taught to dream. Not everybody's taught to live an abundance life. But for the most part, people are. You're taught to whatever you dream about, you can be. You can be whatever you want to be. Oh man, you know what? You should be a preacher. You should be a gynecologist or whatever in life. You're gonna be the number one draft pick. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. What? At that point, you're given your dream, or you birth your dream, or what you think is your dream.
Right.
After that comes the steps towards it. During that process, it gets derailed.
It does.
But you still hold on to it.
Okay.
So it goes from, we'll use sports because,
yeah, let's go.
We'll use sports.
How you still aspire to be a basketball player?
Man, every day.
Okay, go ahead.
Kenny Anderson in the flesh. Rod Strickland with the handles.
And you see where they at, right? Okay. Keep
going. So in basketball, you could be the most skilled basketball player ever.
Right.
You could practice every morning. You could lift weights in the afternoon. You could shoot till 3 a.m. But if you don't make it to 6 foot at least, you're already behind the curve.
Okay.
But if you go past, okay, you get to go to a college,
right,
and you get to play. And then let's say you get to play overseas for a little bit and everything. But then all of a sudden it's not playing it out that you're going to make it to the NBA. At what point do you say, I lived a good life at that, now it's time for me to transition to something else? Or do you let that become your prison and you can't move to nothing else in life? That you got to still stay in that mindset of, if I got to make it, there's nothing else. Because you see people, and that sports is just one aspect of it. But you see people in life who are holding on to these dreams that have actually become their prison. They can't move out of it, and it hasn't done anything for them. But they're willing to sacrifice, or thinking they're sacrificing for it, when in reality they've been destroying everything around them. So when is it okay to say that my dream has run its course and it's time for me to reevaluate my process and move to either a different dream or revamp this dream?
Now, it depends on what the dream is. Now, like you said, for the 50-year-old man that still has aspirations to be in the NBA, let that go. At that point,
I mean, Charlie Ward played. He no, it wasn't Charlie Ward. It was Chris Child, something like that. He made it at 30.
You can make it at 30, but you know how long of a career you're gonna have at 30 playing basketball at that rate, 82 games a year. Dan Marley came into the league at a pretty old age, and he had a decent career.
Man, back in the day.
Yeah. So I mean, for that, it depends on what that dream requires, because you shouldn't be, once you dream it, it should become a vision. And you should be trying to take steps in what you see yourself doing, because if people don't understand, like, sometimes you may feel you're supposed to be in sports, but maybe you're supposed to be a sports writer or a sports caster.
Okay, I like that.
You could be a statistician. Yeah. Doing trades and stats.
I like that. I agree
with
you.
And that's what people need to understand. Like, for instance, like we was talking about downstairs, those that aspire to be rappers at 50. Maybe you weren't meant to be a rapper. Maybe you were meant to be a label exec,
ghostwriter.
Right? You can't do that too. You make good money writing rhymes and songs for other people. You know, it's very lucrative. You know, you can shoot. Maybe you weren't meant to be a movie star. Maybe the director, maybe a producer, maybe and not to say that it's too late to start. You know, but it's nothing wrong with you having several false starts but you continue to work towards it. Right. But each time you progress further. Now, if it's always a thing you just starting and you're just starting and you're just starting, yeah, you might need to realize something else and get real with yourself. Because one thing is like, hey, you start, you get 3 steps down the road towards what you're trying to do. Right. But you got to revert back and start again. You go the 3 plus 6 and so forth. That's something different. But it becomes a nightmare when you sitting there, all you're doing is dreaming it, and you're not trying to attempt it. What do you feel? And we talked about this before. What is your degree of success? Because keep in mind, there's only, just like in the military, in the NBA, the NFL, and these sports, 1%. Same thing when it comes to entertainment, 1%. Yes. That 1% that is that outright star. Hey, when they mention your name, all of a sudden the lights go bright, right. The fireworks go off. Because everybody's not meant to be a LeBron.
You're right. I agree with you.
Or a Jordan, yeah. Or even a Pippen or a Rodman.
Why everybody be crapping on Pippen?
I'm not nobody's crapping. I'm just saying. No, but these are people that your name's called. You're like,
right, you automatically think that. I want to be like them.
Some of us are meant to be Vlade Divac or Kurt Rambis, Michael Cooper. You know what I'm saying? That
right? No. I
or
agree
a Vucevic, or you know what I'm saying? Somebody you just you have a role, but you're not the main.
Right.
Main attraction. And I think we sometimes, it's not to say, because you might get that point, you get that highlight where people, well, damn, Vucevic scored 55 points today. Okay. And that's the highlight of your career. Or you made you made the All-Star team. Because you can't get the Hall of Fame making All-Star teams. You can't Hall of Fame. So but
Dominique Wilkins still is not one of the 75 greatest players. However,
but still,
James,
but yeah,
Harden is. But
so I think we it gets detrimental when it's not providing. Not say providing. It's nothing progressive with that dream.
Actually, I like that part, but I even like the part where you said providing. And the reason why I like that part is because we look at providing as financial.
Yeah.
But I think providing equals not just financial, but a sense of happiness and completion.
Yeah. And a clear vision. Yes. as you drive further down. That's what I mean to say as well. But go ahead.
No. That I'm glad you added that, because what we're noticing, what we have seen is that people are holding on to these so-called dreams that have not provided any happiness. But what it has done, it has destroyed any sense of reality. And I think that's where, a lot of people having problems with. Your dreams should become reality. Like you said, every process should lead you to actually make it to come to fruition. When you start seeing people holding on to these dreams of being stars, cool. But now all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you're 5 years in and you have a family, but your family's starving because you're still holding on to being a star. With the football, we'll use football for example. You out here trying to make it on a team, saying, yeah, it's going to pan out. But guess what's happening? Your family's starving. And I think sometimes we think that that's actually sacrificing for your goal, when it's really like, when maybe your goal is not that.
Right.
Or maybe you have exhausted everything in that way. Your potential is maxed.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Right. If every avenue has been exhausted towards that dream, then it wasn't your dream. You, like I said, maybe you were meant to be the coach. Maybe you meant to be the water boy.
I agree with
the athletic. The what do you call they call him the trainer or the guy the equipment manager.
Yeah,
You know,
Ain't nothing, and each one can put you in a better position
right?
to or keep you close to living your dream. And I'm glad you brought that up because I think that that's where the issue with a lot of people is. And when you said definition of your success or you define your success, you know, we all can live a productive and happy, stress-free life.
Right.
Does that mean that we're all going to be billionaires? No.
No.
But that does mean that you can live a life to where you're complete, which to me equates being a billionaire. Because
Yeah.
if you're living a complete and happy life, it's going to pan out for you more so than living a life where you're not happy because you're trying to hold on to a dream. And I think a lot of times that's where our dreams can become our nightmare. For me, 5'7", 5'8" on some days, 5'9" on other days. Well, 5'7". 5'7".
I'm gonna let you have 5'7" today.
I am. I am 5'7".
I you have 5'7".
I am 5'7".
Okay,
I've been
whatever,
measured
5'7".
10 times, and I am
Okay.
5'7".
Okay.
Five,
Maybe you need to trim down your
even with that, with no hair, with no hair, I'm 5'7".
Okay, come with you 5'7". Okay.
Growing up, I wanted to be in the NBA.
Okay.
That was actually a dream of mine. I actually wanted to be in the NBA. And once I realized that I was not going to grow past 5'7", I had to ask myself a honest question. If I keep putting time and effort into playing basketball, what is it going to pan out for me? And I know other people will be like, see, you giving up on your dreams. No, that's me becoming realist.
But what you could have done was you could have realized in other ways how you could have got involved in the basketball.
That's the part. So if I had the mindset,
right,
I probably could have been a coach.
Right.
I probably could have, been the equipment manager, something like that, and then work my way up into because these NFL teams, basketball teams, those people get paid pretty darn good for 82 plus games.
The conditioning coach, whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, people don't understand it. There's ways to be involved with your dream.
But that's the thing. For me, I didn't have nobody explaining it that way. It was you're not tall enough, so look, do something else. Not saying, you know what, there's other facets of the game. If you love it so much, there's other facets that you could do. That's where, but understanding that my dream of playing professional basketball was not going to happen.
Right.
I had to accept that. But there are people who have not accepted that in life. Like, for instance, how about those people who, in this day and age, think that if you cut on a camera, I know we're doing it too, but we know our success. So we measured our success. They cut on the camera, they automatically think that this is going to bring me millions of views.
Right.
And they're doing it to the point that they have given up on other facets of life, i.e. working, because education, they just gave up on all that because this is it.
Right.
But it's not panning out. Has that dream handicapped them or actually put them in the prison?
It wasn't a dream, though. You think about it, it wasn't a dream. It's just they see other people doing it and they hear. Because if you think about nowadays, it's like see, monkey do.
Right.
Like, okay, like we actually didn't realize to do a channel until, and remind you, we were recording elsewhere.
Yeah, that's
like 5. I realized that a couple weeks ago, like, damn, we could have had a channel years ago, and we just decided 2-3 years ago to set up a channel to actually start working on it, maybe a little while back. So, and that's the thing. But at the same time, it's not like, oh, when so-and-so makes X amount of dollars, that's what I should be doing too. And it's easy. All I gotta do is turn on the camera and, say whatever or do whatever they're doing, because, you got these people that do the reaction videos, the people they do the little surveys and go ask little nasty questions to the girls and the guys.
Yeah, that's dumb.
You see them there, they watching some recording themselves doing athletic stuff. I mean, that sort of deal, people blowing up stuff, fixing stuff, breaking stuff. I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's not what I call a dream. It's like you see somebody doing something, and you see that they got X amount of likes, X amount of followers, and now you feel you should try it too. Because you think about it, once there's a handful of people that start doing it, other people see that and they want to chime in on it too. Or and then it might turn out, oh, you know what? Let me jump onto this. Because you look on some of these channels, you got them doing 5 different things. Like they're doing the reactions, they're doing the surveys, they're doing the mukbang with the food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, it's cool that you want to show that you, but what is it that you really want them to see? What is the real content? You know, because and people be mindful of this. This doesn't make you a creative when you do it. You know, it just makes you a content creator. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, but at the same time, you gotta have some substance to what you're doing. And then when it comes down to your dream of doing other things, there's got to be more to you just wanting to be a basketball player. You know, and like you said, when it comes to sacrifices are things like you sacrificing your house, clothes, and your food. Sacrifices like instead of you going hanging out with the boys, like you said, you in the gym working out. You know what I'm saying?
That's that.
You go on the basketball court shooting 1,000 jump shots. You're not leaving the court until you hit 100 in a row.
Right.
5 times out of them 1,000 shots you shooting. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting that?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Those are the sacrifices that the little sacrifices that go a long way, as opposed to the major sacrifices that does damage. Like you, dog. If it's detrimental to your way of living, if it's taken away from, by all means, that dream may not be for you. That dream may not be for you. So in other words, you decide to go out and buy all this equipment, but you got rent to pay. You might want to try another avenue. You know?
I agree with you 100%. And you know what's funny? Because that's what you see is people thinking, because we have this thought in our minds, you got to sacrifice for your dreams. And it's like, there's a way to sacrifice smartly.
Right.
It doesn't mean quit your job, because you hear that, because I think every other story is like, oh, I just woke up, I just quit my job.
But that's how they remembered it.
Yeah.
That's how they remember it. And that's how they're told to sell the story. So people buy into them.
When you really didn't quit your job, you started the process while you was working.
Right.
When you got off your job, you worked your whatever it was,
right.
And then it got to a point where you was making the same amount or more, and it allowed you and afforded you the opportunity to quit your job, or you saved enough money to where you was able to quit your job. And I think that's the part of saying smartly, like you said, yeah, I could go hang out or I could go to the gym.
Right.
So that's smart,
right?
You know, at the end of the day.
Or instead of going to the movies with your girlfriend, y'all hanging out watching basketball films and you breaking it down.
Yeah, smart.
You know,
instead of quitting your job thinking this is it, I'm gonna do it this way, and then it's like, well, where are you gonna live? Where are you gonna stay?
Right.
And
now, if you got good friends, that's when they realize your dream. At the same time, they're realistic. They're real. They know you have a realistic chance. I can understand that. But some people, sometimes we invest in fools when we should be invested in fools.
I like that, because not everybody has.
Yeah, you think about it. I mean to cut you off, but you think about it. The minute you say, my Sean, yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper. A word? Okay, yeah, dog. You know, I quit my job, all this equipment. Yeah, now I have a place to stay. Yeah, man, since you want to do that, you can stay at my house, man. You whatever. What the whole nine, you know, man, thinking like, well, dog, what the fuck you quit your job for?
You couldn't do it on your day off.
Right. What you gonna do? How you gonna pay the bills, man? What you gonna do? Right. And when you decide to be a rapper, I didn't know you rap. You know, you got a rap book or something? Then what you trying to do? You know, I mean, what's up? You know, but I mean, but at the same time, but like I said, if I've always been trying my whole time, it's like, you know what? I see the buckle down to do it, man. I gotta make some sacrifices. You know what, man? Look, you right there. Hey, man, look, if you need something, let me know. Hey, man, I might need a roof over my head. Hey, dog, you need to find you a job.
Right.
And find something, and then we'll talk about you a living arrangement. You know, but still, there's nothing wrong with being supportive, always, but at the same time, let's be supportive the right way, you know, because you don't want to be, at the same time, some of us don't want to be that down or all, you know, you don't believe. you're gonna believe to a certain extent, but my dog, you 45 years old, you still have aspirations going into the NBA. If they found you now, what you think they're gonna find you anytime sooner?
Exactly.
You know?
And that's how I feel. And I'm glad you brought that up that way, because I think that's where people think that you're hating when you're like, no, let's get realistic. No, you just don't want to see me happy. You're not happy.
Because you're miserable trying to achieve a goal. You're striving and struggling.
And if you're living your purpose, if that's what you're meant to be,
yes,
it'll always bring you happiness.
Yes. Now that was another thing I'll say. It's part of your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I think a lot of times what really bothers people is the fact that they're scared that their purpose may not put them in the spotlight. I always say this. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Say your thing.
John the Baptist is the most interesting person in the Bible.
Like we talk about all the time.
Yeah, he's the most interesting person in the Bible because his purpose was to make way for Jesus.
Right.
And when Jesus came, he disappeared. Yeah. Not that he stopped doing what he was doing. It's just
I think he actually got killed.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he got killed. I think so. I gotta look at it and make sure, but I'm pretty sure he ended up. I think.
Oh man,
I think so. Even though I gotta look at it and make sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah,
and that be I heard about
that. No, he didn't just disappear. I thought something happened to him along the way.
Because I know when once he baptized Jesus,
right,
that's when his story kind of faded out.
Yeah,
and that makes him the most unique person in the Bible,
right?
Because his story, even when he was talking,
remember how they were telling the story? They would tell him like he was the one,
right? Exactly. He's like, no,
I'm not the one. Because whoever comes behind me,
yes,
no, he's that guy.
And what if that's the case? What if you're not the one, but maybe a child will be the one?
Right. It could be the possibility too.
So why not take that time to say, you know what? I maximize my potential in this area. Why not I start reevaluating it and see what I can get out of it?
Yeah.
Like people clown LeVar Ball all the time. Realistically,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Because you still, what I want to say, go ahead. Go with that. That's a very good example.
Realistically, he's actually smart. He maximized his potential to make it, and he didn't make it. However, he put that same energy into his children,
right,
and got all three of them into the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way of looking at it. You know what? I'm still connected.
Yeah.
I'm still living out my dreams. We're still doing. He even coached them. He never strayed away from his dream. He just revamped it.
Exactly. He realized his purpose. Like you said, his purpose necessarily. He had the aspiration to be the NBA, to beat Michael Jordan.
Right.
Basketball.
No, oh, yeah, you're right too. Yeah, because I thought at one point I thought he said he did beat Michael Jordan. But no, he was like, no, I can't beat Michael Jordan.
But like he said, when he realized that, and even said it, shoot, I want to make it an NBA. You know? So he started doing things to make sure that his future is in the NBA. You know? He like you said, he repurposed his dream. You know, he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have 3 sons, or however many sons, and they all gonna be in the NBA. They're all gonna be basketball players. He still ain't got them all on the same team yet.
Right. I told you, I said Jordan, you should pull him. He got 2 of them on the team. One of them, he was on their
G League
team.
Yeah.
But he was close. I said, hey, I'll go all in on the Ball family. But you know what's funny is that he talked Michael Jordan into his son.
Yeah.
The man who said he could beat Michael Jordan got Michael Jordan to draft his son.
Yeah. He's just waiting to catch him one day. Jordan walk away in sneakers on. You ready?
You know what? I was about to say that too. I was like, yo.
Let's go.
Yeah, it'd be funny if one day Jordan just comes down. He's like,
where your dad at?
Where your dad at? After I get done with your dad, I'm going to take you too. Jordan's known for...
Matter of fact, get your brother too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, get your brother from G League. You know.
Yeah, Jordan's known for playing his players now. He'll play them in a heartbeat.
Still got the killer instinct, man. But yeah, we and I think I think it's a good conversation we had today. And I think a lot of times you can say we got to realize or repurpose, just make sure that we're on a realistic path on what we want to be. Some people just want to be regular, which is understandable.
Right.
Some people just want to be a bum, some people don't realize they're just a bum and they just,
I like you. You know what? That's actually
some people live that life, I mean, we often forget that, dreams are meant to drive you, and they're meant to be turned into goals and achievements. And like I said, we're not, like I said, you have that aspiration to be this thing here. What are the steps to get you to that point?
right.
And make sure, hey, they're realistic. They're not putting you, on an unrealistic path that you basically depriving yourself. Like you said, living a good life, enjoying life. Because a lot of, like I said, the sacrifices, that you need to make are not necessarily not the ones that are part of the essentials. Your life, your food, clothing, and shelter. Like you said, it's the things like instead of going to the movies, you're going to the gym. Instead of you spending your money and time going on vacations. You go on to athletic camps, and you in travel teams and stuff.
Right.
I mean, those are the sacrifices we're talking about. Stuff, the things that are affordable sacrifices, that I call them.
No, actually that's a perfect way of putting it. Affordable sacrifice.
Yeah, you buy that, you decide to buy that studio equipment, but you still have the lights on and the roof over your head, and your car's stuck in the driveway, and food is on the table, and the clothes is on your back.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I tell people. And a lot of times, you can start it out as a hobby, and some people need to do that too. Sometimes necessarily start it out as a hobby.
I like that, yeah, because that's what we use to, when you could take your hobby and make money off of it,
right?
Then it becomes a business. And we always say you should do what you love, but a lot of times we have to come back and say, however, if what you love is not really bringing you happiness, then maybe you need to take a step back and reevaluate: do you still love it? Does it still have purpose?
Right.
The best way I can say it is, we all want new furniture. We all want new everything. However, is it beneficial for us to keep going out and buy it, or is it better to take care of what we have?
Right.
So, your dream is the same way. Sometimes it's better to take care of it because it's still serving its purpose, but other times it may not be serving its purpose, and you have to let it go. You let it go. There's nothing wrong with that. But you did bring up some. There's a way you can always stay connected to your dream.
Yeah.
It's just it may not be the way that you want it to be.
Right.
Because if that's the case, we all would be in the NBA or NFL or maybe baseball. Maybe I should start with baseball. They're the money. That's the money. Baseball and hockey.
Yeah. You too small though.
For which one?
Baseball and hockey.
Hockey, yeah. Because they're big in hockey. I mean, baseball,
you don't have size. You can be about your height and play baseball, but you got to have some. Yeah.
I'll train with Barry Bonds.
You okay?
I'm on his regimen.
Be on his regimen.
Him and Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco.
Don't even worry about the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I play baseball. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Matter of fact, me and Canseco gonna be close.
You hang out with that guy.
You know what's funny?
He took women to get stabbed and shot.
He was actually my favorite baseball player.
He's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, I love Jose Canseco.
I thought he was always a jerk to me. I thought he was a jerk.
I didn't pay attention to that aspect of it until I started seeing him as an adult. Like, he was always that way.
He was the jerk. Mark McGwire was the quiet one, and then my boy Ricky Hendricks was the man, and then
stolen bases.
And then Dave Stewart was that guy. He was that killer on the plate.
It's funny. There's not Adam Sandberg, but the other guy from Saturday Night Live. They actually did it's considered a parody of Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco from their Oakland A's days.
Yeah.
And they did a whole skit It's on Netflix. It's the funniest thing on God's Green Earth because actually it's based off true events.
Oh, really?
But how they play it, and then you just listen to them. It's like, yo, Jose was really a jerk. Like he was
cocky as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
I think
that's why I wasn't a big Ace fan because everybody talking about Jose Canseco, and then I was watching. I was like, man, I don't like him. He was just, I mean, he big splash and hit the home run and stuff.
Yeah, now we know how.
Yeah.
Ain't a snitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and it's funny because last night I watched the Doc and Daryl documentary on 30 for 30. I've been going back watching a lot of these documentaries. And in the documentary, it talked, Daryl Strawberry was talking about how he was growing up and he didn't love baseball.
No.
But he was so gifted.
Exactly. And
he was just gifted.
You're right. And that's why a lot of those athletes, a lot of those people we look up to that are so good at it, they never had a love for it. They were just so good at it. They can just roll out of bed and do it.
Yeah, that's who he was.
And then is the point you phone it in, you whatever, and then you go back, you a horrible person on, when the lights are off and the cameras are no longer on you.
And he was drinking his demons and everything. And it reminded me of this other story that I saw on QB1 or Last Chance U, where they talk about the football players that go to junior colleges.
Right.
And there was this kid who actually was at Florida State called Malik Henry. Talented quarterback. I mean, really good. He just was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking to his father. And I wonder if they ever replayed that and realized he was talking to his father. His father was like, football. He never wanted to play football. He wanted to play baseball.
Right.
He was doing it for his father.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he don't like to get, he was a quarterback. And I was like, he don't like to get hit. He don't like to get dirty because it wasn't his sport.
Right.
So because of that, he never made it.
Right.
I mean, because it wasn't his passion. But if he did his passion, which was baseball, to the ceiling. So it just goes to show you that a lot of times are our dreams our dreams, or have they been planted in us by the people around us?
I meant to say that earlier too. I'm glad you brought that back around with that because that is something too. Like we say earlier, sometimes parents say, "Hey, well, yeah, you should be." Well, we spoke about this last time. Hey, you should be this. You should be those things. Not paying attention to exactly what they're good at.
Right.
It's like you said, it's something that maybe we aspire to be that we want them to be. And that's another thing too. Like I said, when we start playing our dreams and our children, like I said, the minute they get of age, we want to hand them the ball.
Right.
You're going to be the NBA. Now mind you, like you said, you 5'7", your son might grow up to be 5'10" at the tallest.
Right.
And even still, that's not even because I'm about 5'11" myself and 5'11" and a half, and I'm at that line.
Right.
So it's like it's like you gotta kind of be, like I said, you gotta know what the stats on, what you're up against when you doing certain things.
Right. I agree with you.
So I mean, you don't necessarily say, like I said, give up, but if it's still realistic, now you 50 years old and you decide you just want to start rapping, if there's an audience for it, by all means, I'm for it. So you thought about it a couple times. Maybe ask me, think about these other rappers, these little youngs and NBAs and these,
No. I'm not disagreeing with you.
You know what I'm saying? If there's an audience for it, by all means, I'm cool with that. But you need to be good at it, though. That's another thing too. You got to be good at it.
And there's nothing wrong with what you said if there's an audience for it.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you quit your job.
Oh no.
You give up on everything else, and you're like, this is all I'm about.
You go to Foot Locker and you buy a bunch of Jordans. Yeah. And, you go buy the latest saggy jeans, the Charlie O's, or whatever you want to rock. But definitely, like I said, I insistently give up. And my thing is and that's another thing, people, like I keep telling you, be realistic when you define what your level of success is. And my thing is, start at what's reachable first. And let me use this thing I always tell people. I remember when I was playing basketball, I wanted to be the best person in my neighborhood. I played hard long, I practiced, I played hard enough. I was one of the best people in my neighborhood. And then you one of the best people in the neighborhood, other people from other neighborhoods will say, well, you go play them.
Right.
And to the point to where you probably one of the best in your town. You know, I wouldn't say one of the best in my town, but when people heard, like when people go around and say, yeah, well, I heard so-and-so can ball a little bit, you might want to check him out, see if you can come through. You know, those people come check you out. And that's the thing I'm saying. So it may not, you might not want to be the best rapper. You're not gonna be the best rapper in the world. You be the best rapper in your county.
That's true. I agree with you.
Hey,
there's nothing wrong with that.
That's what they do in Texas. You just be a rapper in Texas and do your thing. Just be known in Texas.
Hell, between Texas and California, it'd be like, we don't know how games sell. If the state of California buys his records, he's sold 1 million records.
You know, and like I said, people don't understand. You got to pick you pick your stepping stones, and that we don't do that. You just automatically feel you should automatically to Billboard's top 100 and be a #1 record. You know,
Vince Staples, he told, I love what he said. He said, I don't care about nothing else except my core fans.
Right.
As long as I keep my core fans happy and they'll buy my records, I'll never go without.
Right.
And Vince Staples has been a staple in the music industry without having any commercial success.
True. So, but I mean, that's why I had about everything. So let's go ahead and wind this down.
Yeah. We do have good news. Within the next couple of weeks, we will be doing a joint show. Can't tell you all the details, but look out for that. We'll actually, this person, he's starting up his podcast, and we'll be with his first guest, and we're looking forward to it. Talk a little bit of sports and give our insights on some stuff. Look for more collaborations down the line. Look for more of us doing a lot of other things, man. You know, can't complain. It's going good for us. Got anything you want to add?
Hey, man, look, whoever that one person is, tell other people to come check us out. I don't know, whoever it is, thank you for watching. But you can't be just the only person watching. Share. Promote us. We do the best we can. We're going to get better at it, but we need everybody's help. Please comment. And, hey, if you want to be a part of the show, anybody, you're welcome. Please welcome. Because regardless, we're not going anywhere, regardless of what location we're going to be at. We got to figure it out to the point, like, this dude, we'll talk about another time, but either way, we're going to keep the show going. Like I said, share, subscribe, comment. If you'd like to come on the show, you know somebody that could be good on the show, by all means, let us know. Reach out. Thank you again. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Check us out on all the platforms. You know, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
And I second everything. Y'all be blessed, and we're out.